Alright, got it to work that time. Having a little bit of technical difficulties. Kind of hang out and see if anybody decides to come into the tea room today. There's Miss Sabrina. Miss Tammy, good afternoon. My brother Daniel. Well, hello. My brother Cannon. Alright, y'all, we're going to let everybody kind of come in, grab a table, sit down, get the drinks. We'll get this shindig started. Miss Tracy Glover, Miss Amy, hi guys. Will, hey Will, I haven't seen you or heard from you in a while. What's up, my brother? Miss Kimberly, Eugene. Try and give you guys shout outs as they come across the bottom. Yeah. Morgan. Welcome, welcome, y'all. Come in, sit down, pull up a chair, grab yourself a drink. Welcome to the Demon's Tea Room. Chris, what's up? What's up? Brother Hewitt is watching. Hey Kim, how you doing? Miss Cassandra. Alright, y'all, we'll get kicked off here in just a minute. Casey Lynn, Miss Melissa. Annie. Welcome, Cody. You guys touch me here when you guys show up to listen to me talk every bloody day. Means the world to me. Mr. Johnny Jinx. Another name I haven't talked to in a while. Caitlin. Miss you too, bro. Alright, y'all, looks like we're starting to get a good number of people coming in. Some numbers dropping off, coming in. Alright, y'all. So I figured what I wanted to do today, being, what bloody day is it? Thursday, Friday, Sunday? I think it's Thursday. We were going to talk Throwback Thursdays. So, what I wanted to do is we're going to talk about Zombieland here just a little bit. Here's my sister in crime, Miss Charmaine. Jeremy, Flora, welcome y'all. Welcome, come in, have a seat. Candy, welcome. There's my brother Blake. So we're going to talk just a little bit about Zombieland. Today's Friday. Okay. The days are starting to run together. Getting a little twitchy up in here. So we're going to talk, I'm going to introduce you guys to Zombieland just a little bit. And then I figured I'd open up the floor just a little bit and do some Q&A for just a short period of time. You can type your questions down at the bottom, something you want to ask me or hear something on. Mississippi, Florida, it's still, people are moving around just a little bit. Everything's closed, of course. Trust me, Blake, you do not want to see these sexy legs unless you are wearing sunglasses. Trust me, there's nothing sexy about these legs. There's my other sister in cry, K Moments, one of our other tour guides. Hi, Bambi. Then we'll do some questions answered. But here in the city, things are moving around, as you can hear in the traffic on the freeway. People are still moving around doing their day-to-day stuff. The city is still operational. We haven't truly gotten into a full lockdown yet. National Guard is starting to move in. They've started setting up their locations for the drive-through testing. Occasionally you'll hear heavy lift equipment go over in heavy lift choppers. So life is moving through. It's not complete and total dead silence. Yeah, I know. Evie took a picture of them sexy legs, put it on. That's the behind the scenes of the Demon's Tea Room. We're doing the news anchor hiding at the table. You don't see what's underneath. So things are here. They're moving here. We'll see where. There's my brother, Drew. Much love, mad respect, brother. We'll see where things go as things progress in the hot zone that is New Orleans. Our numbers are continually to rise, as they are other places in the country. I think, quote me on the number, but I think our last number of dead was at 10, I believe. I've kind of had to stop. I forced myself to stop following the news and really diving off into Facebook feeds of what's going off, because it was starting to get to me psychologically, and I'm not going to do it. I have a hard enough time keeping out of bad places in my head. I don't need any help going there. So let's jump off and talk about just a little bit about Zombieland and Six Flags. And like I said, we'll get into some Q&As. Shoot your questions down along the bottom. When we get into the... thanks, Flora. Yeah, Flora just pointed out for me, yeah, it's still the death numbers here in this area is around 10. And I'm kind of torn. I mean, I want to keep you guys up on what is going on here in the city. But on the flip side of that coin, I don't want to concentrate on the bad. It's if we're going to get through this together, we're going to get through it together and talk about the positives, because trust me, all of us know the bad shit is out there and it's knocking on the door. So I want to try and stay away from that as much as possible, and try and stay positive. So we'll go with that. So onto Zombieland. Now, Zombieland is what we affectionately call our Six Flags here in New Orleans. And in fact, where I'm sitting right now, you jump on this freeway right behind you guys, and you roll it up around into New Orleans East. You look off to the right. On the horizon there, you're going to see some abandoned rides. That is Six Flags. Six Flags was opened here in New Orleans in 2000. It is a 140-acre complex and was kind of rocking for just a little while. Like I said, started in 2005. A lot of it was inspired by the old amusement park that had been there on the shores of Lake Pontchartrain. And so when it opened, it had rides like the Mega Zephyr, which was a huge wood roller coaster that you can still see off in the distance. It's still there today. They had the Rex Rail Runner, Zydeco Scream, Spillway Slapshot, Batman's Ride. They had, of course, the quintessential themed areas that all the Six Flags had. You had Main Square, Cajun Country, DC Comics, Super Adventures, Looney Tunes, Mardi Gras World, and Good Time Gardens, just to name a few. So I mean, it was a full-blown Six Flags here in the city of New Orleans. It was the main amusement park here in the city. Well, August 29th, 2005 rolls around. They shut the park down for Katrina that's starting to roll in. Well, unfortunately, when Katrina hits, we all know that story, and they estimate there was up to over 20 feet of water inside of Six Flags. Now, a lot of the rides made it through, but there's my sister Lauren, much love, babe. Most of the rides made it through the storm all right. Where the kicker came in is that the pumps failed. Go figure. So Six Flags itself was completely inundated with all of this flood water, no pumps to pump it out. Around Six Flags itself was a 6 to 7 high berm around the entire facility, which basically turned it into a bowl. So what ended up happening is, since the city had been devastated when we had lost the levees, keeping in mind, Joe, what a lot of people don't realize here in the city is that as far as the hurricane itself was concerned, the city dodged a bullet. A good portion of the hardcore hurricane damage was to the east of here. Mississippi, Alabama, those areas, and of course across Florida, where it came across like a speed bump. Now, we had some damage here, but really honestly, as far as wind and rain damage, the city had pretty much survived and dodged that bullet. It was when in the early morning those levees failed, that's when shit went south and quick. And so that was your issue that devastated the city of New Orleans. And with that, the city being in the condition that it was in post-Katrina, Six Flags was not even on the radar. You know, we had citizens on roofs. There were people trapped. The city infrastructure had collapsed. It had turned into the Wild West here. So Six Flags was the least of anybody's concerns. So Six Flags sat there in that soup of water and salt water and dead animals and all of the lovely stuff that made up that water for at a minimum of over a month in 98 degree weather, 100% humidity, and the metal of the rides just started to deteriorate right off the bat. So when it finally got to a point where the city was able to look back at, welcome to the demon's bedroom, guys. You gotta love autocorrect. That is a completely different podcast, and the sun will not be up when we have that. We will be checking IDs at the door. And I shouldn't have said that, because now I know you individuals, and that's going to go south sideways, and you twisted people out there will actually want that. I know my fam. I can already hear you thinking it across the verse. So when they finally were able, keeping in mind New Orleans East, which is where Six Flags is located, just over yonder, just a little bit. For my Yankee brothers and sisters up there, that's that way. New Orleans East was devastated. It was a post-apocalyptic land space. If you wanted to shoot a post-apocalyptic, yeah, Hewitt, I know I did it. It's why I'm not allowed to have good ideas anymore. Post-apocalyptic, area, and if you wanted to shoot a movie or a photo shoot over there, you had a great backdrop. Problem is you probably had to wear vests because, hate to say it, New Orleans East was not the best of areas even pre-Katrina. And after Katrina, it was a wasteland. So when they did finally get around to trying to go back in and see if they were going to open up Six Flags to get it re-up and operational, it was pretty much a lost cause. It was going to cost way more money than you have to rip the entire place out and completely rebuild it. That wasn't even on the table. So they abandoned it in place. Now, there's a lot of... Now, what I want you guys to do is we're going to make this interactive. Besides the Q&A, what I want you to do is if you have access to your computer, however, go up on Google, do image search, Zombieland, New Orleans, and look at the pictures. That way, you guys have basically an interactive... You can see what we're talking about and why it is called Zombieland. So very rapidly, the urban explorers in and around New Orleans, I would know nothing about that. I would never condone going in and checking out abandoned places that you don't have permission to go into. It's bad, don't do it. Urban explorers immediately, of course, were hitting Zombieland, going in, getting pictures. The second those pictures started hitting the internet, urban explorers from across the country and around the world were coming to New Orleans to make a run on Zombieland. Now, for a couple of years, if you got caught in Zombieland, you got a slap on the wrist, told to go the hell home, don't let us catch you back out here kind of thing. And no harm, no foul. Because you had, professional photographers going in there. The shots that they were bringing out of as this place was deteriorating are epic. Like I said, go check out Zombieland on Google. Pictures will take your breath away. Now, TV industry started to pick up here in the city, and so they decided to go in and start using Zombieland as filming locations. 2011, Killer Joe was filmed there. Stolen was filmed there. 2013, Percy Jackson was filmed in there. Of course, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, which was filmed very heavily in and around. We took part of the CBD. If you will go back and you watch Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, when you see what is San Francisco, all post-apocalyptic with the vines and the trees and the bushes growing, that is actually filmed in the CBD. They're off of, just on the other side of Canal, off of North Rampart. And then a lot of those scenes were also filmed in Zombieland. Jurassic World was filmed in the main parking lot there at Zombieland, as well as Deepwater Horizon, which was filmed in fact, little bitty nerd note, since I worked industry for 10 years, Deepwater Horizon, when you see the oil rig set and the huge tank that they have that set sat in, was actually built in the parking lot there of Zombieland. So at that point, I believe it now holds the world's record for the largest water set built tank-wise to film a movie, which of course is no longer there anymore. But so when you guys go back, you watch the behind-the-scenes stuff, you're looking at Zombieland. So now, not only with industry filming out there off and on occasionally, But more importantly, and this is a call out to my fellow urban explorers out there, because trust me, y'all, I have a passion for all things abandoned. I'm hardcore with the lifestyle of the urban explorer of leave no trace. You take nothing, you go in, you take your pictures, you explore the history, you document it, you don't destroy it, you don't graffiti it, you don't destroy it, and then it's there for other people to come and look at. So this is my thing, my warning to my urban explorer brethren out there, and sisters. Don't go to Zombieland. One, it has become excruciatingly dangerous. And we'll get to some of the paranormal activity in and around Zombieland here in just a second. But it has become excruciatingly dangerous to go into Zombieland for the simple fact that those rides have been sitting there deteriorating and rotting in the swamp for nigh on 16 years now. So they're in bad condition, and they're going to start to collapse, and I don't want to have anybody underneath one when they come down. And two, if you get caught in Zombieland now, it's no longer a slap on the wrist. Now they're going to give you those free silver bracelets that they like to hand out free of charge, and you will get tagged with criminal trespassing, and you get to go get booked. So your best shot, y'all, take a look at it from the internet and just go from there. It is not worth the risk. Now, we do have a lot of other places in and around New Orleans and just outside of New Orleans that we're going to get into. And I'm getting ready to go into some of the things that we have coming down the pike for you guys. And I see we got some people bailing out, so I'm sure this isn't the strictly haunted stuff they wanted to listen to. So, doing my best. But we have some things coming down the pike that I want to get you guys up to speed on, and we'll talk about those here in just a minute. So Zombieland is there. There's some other abandoned places that I want to not only talk about, but we are going to be going live when Evie is feeling better, and we can go out and do on the spot live streams. We'll be doing the Demon Sea Room from there. And some of these abandoned places, as well as shooting video for the stream and the YouTube channel. So this is going to lead me into one of my segues real quick. I have a Discord channel, and I'm challenging you, every single person out there, all of your friends. If you have a Discord channel, I'm going to post my Discord handle on here, and once we get it up on YouTube. If you don't have a Discord, it's really easy. It's an epic place to go and chat and talk. We're going to be setting up a Discord area that has multiple rooms. So if you want to go into a room and talk steampunk, you want to talk paranormal, you want to talk Star Wars, those chat rooms will be there for people to go into, sit down, talk, chat. It's as easy. You can do it from your phone. There's a Discord app, as well as on your computer. It'll give us a place when we go start the streaming, which I want to give a huge shout out to a couple of people who have been bending over backwards to help me learn how to do this whole streaming thing. And that would be Sabrina. That's going to be Batty, our techno witch, Hewitt Hall, Kyle, Tank. These guys are streamers. As we go, you guys need to check out their channels. They do gaming stuff as well as their artwork. But huge love and respect to those guys, because they have been trying to take this kid from the 80s and try and teach me how to use these programs. So we are going to start streaming on either Twitch or Mixer, still up in the air which way I was on the internet last night with Batty till 4 o'clock in the morning trying to get Mixer figured out. So we're going to be starting live streams. I don't know why you guys would want to watch me do leather work and costuming, but I'm going to start doing some of my my leather classes for you guys. Anybody who wants to torture themselves, listen to me teach you guys how to do some tips and tricks on leather and post-apoc armor and that stuff. You guys tell me that I'm an armorer, so we'll see where that goes. Yeah, Kyle, if you can, throw down a link, brother. That would help me out a lot. Like I said, I'm operating off my phone right now. So that was Discord, y'all. I expect, nay, it's the apocalypse. I demand you guys friend me on Discord so we can open that up as an open lines of communication for all of us to get together and talk and chat when we do the podcasts. That also gives me the chance to bring in guests so Evie and I can interview people out there. It's huge. So there's a whole world out there that is just now opening up to me, and I want you guys to join me on this journey of streaming and all of this that we're watching. There is the epically awesome Techno Witch Batty. Like I said, huge shout out to her. She stayed on line with me till 4 o'clock in the morning, my time, 5 o'clock her time, trying to help me get up in operation. So we're going to jump into questions and answers, guys. So put your questions down here, type them along the bottom. Steampunk, paranormal. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to ask me some questions, and I will do my best to bring you into the world that is Cedric. And you guys have asked for it, so just remember it's your fault when you get up into the cobwebs and the creepy-ass place that is up here. So as soon as I get a question down there, I will do my best to answer it. I'm starting to rumble some ideas around about the demon's bedroom now. Basically a later night sit around adult kind of talking stream. Maybe that'll go somewhere down the line. I'll have to see where that pans out. Thank you, Tammy. Yeah, paranormal activity at Zombieland. In some of the research that we've been able to do, we know that there's been some deaths on the Zombieland property. Keep in mind, it's inactive. A lot of things a lot of people don't know. I, for a short period of time, many, many moons ago, was a medic there at our Six Flags in Astroworld there in Houston for a summer to make ends meet. So much like Disneyland, they never put up their numbers of if somebody dies, because at Disneyland, nobody dies on the property. A lot of your amusement parks are the same way. So trying to get those numbers is damn difficult. We know there were some deaths there. Natural causes, freak accidents, that sort of thing. And some of those people have been into Zombieland and have reported hearing, seeing things. Keep in mind, as an investigator, you have to take into account the atmosphere that you're in. So without having the ability to go in, set up equipment, do investigations, you have to take that area with a grain of salt. Keeping in mind that you're in an abandoned amusement park that is creepy as hell. I mean, come on, y'all. It's called Zombieland for a reason. And how much of those reports of paranormal activity are, honest to God, paranormal activity? How much of it is the human mind playing tricks, putting things there? So that is something you have to take into account as an investigator when fielding these stories and hearing these stories. is what is the environment that people are in when they're reporting this stuff. So the reports we're getting out of there, seeing and hearing things that they can't find a source from, seeing people with shadows, which you start getting into the theory and lore of shadow people and what are these shadow entities that we run across and that people are reporting. People have reported those in Zombieland. People are hearing screams and screeches coming out of Zombieland. Could be metal moving in the wind. When that is put up to the people who are reporting, hearing what they're hearing, and some of the recordings that we've heard, they don't have a very distinctive metal sound of what you would think metal would sound like screeching in the wind. And then in the videos that I've seen, there's no wind moving, there's no wind blowing, and it screams off in the distance. Keep in mind that area over there, you're back in the swamp, so Mother Nature has taken it back. So I will do what I can to try and see what channels I can try and get permission for us to go into Zombieland and do an investigation. If you guys want to see that, let's get our numbers up here. And if we can get our numbers, say, likes above, we're starting out small, so let's say likes above 200. We will do what we can to try and get us into Zombieland and try and do a full-blown official investigation. So I haven't seen anybody really asking any questions, so chirp, 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 chirp. Come on, guys, this is interactive here, y'all. Throw me some lifelines here. Yeah, no, the energy out at Zombieland, it would be interesting to say the least. And I'm not gonna lie, I think it'd be epically awesome to get to go set up the cameras and set up the equipment and go to some of the hot spots. What are shadow people? Mr. Hall has asked. That, Hewitt, is a damn good question. In the paranormal investigative world, shadow figures has basically gone into a subject of its own. Oh, there's the little ones from outside. Hi, Portia. Some of our upstairs puppies going potty. Hi, Portia. So shadow people have really honestly gotten into a category subject of their own, because we don't know. Are we dealing with ghosts? Are we dealing with dimensional entities or dimensional people? They don't act as what most people consider ghosts to act. There's more of an intelligence to them. There's more of an interaction in what people are seeing. So I tell you what, I'll make you a promise. I will make a note, and we'll do a live stream on shadow people and go deeper down that rabbit hole. Yeah, Cannon, I am still off and on investigating Charity Hospital Cemetery. The problem that we are running into now is about 2 months ago, in the middle of the night, the powers that be, keep in mind the Charity Hospital Cemetery is owned by and operated by LSU, not the city. They came in the middle of the night and put in a jet black chain link fence. If you walk through the Narnia trees to go back into the back, there is now a fence about 4 feet in. Technically, you can't go back any farther. So there are people going back there. I know for a fact, I know multiple ways to get into that back area. And I know that those entities, those non-human entities, are still back there. When you go into Charity Hospital, when we were still doing tours before the pandemic started, you can feel it back there. It won't cross across the trees. Trying to, there we go. Yeah, Kay, who is one of our tour guides, was talking about the energy there. So if you guys, she's answering some of the questions about the energy, has a good point. So people aren't going back there on a regular basis, which just means whatever's back there is getting a chance to feed to those that are going back there. And it makes it a little bit more ravenous when we bring tour groups into Charity Hospital Cemetery, because trust me, the tree line, it won't cross that tree line, but there have been nights you can tell it is right up against those tree lines, and it's a very, very uncomfortable feeling. All right, let's see if I can all right, let's see here. We've got a, what location have you investigated that has scared you the most, Kyle? There's quite a few. I've been scratched, I've been punched, thrown across the room. The one that truly changed my thinking in that you can be touched, they can reach out and say hi to you, is Evie and I were doing our pre-walkthrough of the Oddfellows Cemetery, and this also leads into when I've been kind of the most, I don't want to say scared, but say taken aback. We were at the Oddfellows Cemetery there in Texas, just outside of Austin, and when we do an investigation as lead investigators, we will go into the area that we're going to investigate while the sun is still up, early before the rest of the team gets there. That way we can do a safety walkthrough. We can find out where the hazards are before we have our safety tailgate meeting, before the investigation. That's what we were doing. It was just Evie and I. We'd gotten to the Oddfellows Cemetery. It is way down a dirt road back in BFE, nowhere, Texas. And we had done our walkthrough of the cemetery, big open area. There's what's known as the hanging tree up towards the little rainbow-shaped drive-in area. So as we're walking back across the field out of the cemetery, I had seen tree line, old headstones. So, it's me, Cedric. Under the fence I went. And there's broken headstones. There, it goes back into the 1700s dates on these headstones. And, dude, I'm happier than a kid in a candy store with dad's credit card. I mean, it was awesome. Very obviously an abandoned part of the cemetery nobody had been in for a while. And so I come shimmying back out under the fence, and Evie and I are walking across this huge open field, and Evie was probably 10 to 15 feet away from me. And all of a sudden, in the middle of this field, out of nowhere, pop, right here. And I hit the ground like a sack of potatoes. And I came up, hand on the side of my face. The first thing I did was look at her. The logic of she was all the way across the field didn't even register. It was, what the hell did I do to you? And because we were in mid-conversation. And her eyes, size of saucers, and she's just looking at me like, what the hell? And she took a picture, and she's like, oh, honey. She took a picture. And I'll have to find the picture for you. It's in the old team files. I'll have to go get it. But you can see fingerprint marks on my face that match a human fist. So apparently, whatever was on the other side of there did not like the fact that I had shimmied up under there and I was in where they decided I shouldn't have been. Now, later that night, during the investigation, all right, now let me preface this to say that I used to do a lot of things as an investigator that I don't do anymore, i.e. instigating. I used to be myself and another real good friend of mine on Texas Paranormal, we could make a sailor blush. We were very in-your-face instigators. Not proud of it. Don't do it anymore. Damn dangerous. Don't do it. But we were in Oddfellows Rest Cemetery, and there's an unmarked grave in flat concrete on the ground, no name, unknown. We know that the young woman that is in that grave was a Jane Doe. She was found floating face down in one of the canals in the bayous. They know it was murder, and she was never identified. And so she was buried as a Jane Doe. Now, on this particular investigation this night, we had a couple of sensitives with us, some psychics that I trust. And so we were sitting there, we'd gone through most of the investigation, and I'm standing in the middle of the pathway in the cemetery, and one of my psychics said, she's standing right there, pointing behind me. And me being the occasionally intellectually challenged individual that I am on occasion, shut up, honey. I can hear her laughing from all the way out here. Turned around and I said, oh, really? If she's standing there, why don't you make yourself known? I don't believe you're there. Yeah, well, shouldn't have said that. It was as if, the best way I can describe it to you guys is, if you've ever been in a bar or a place and you challenge somebody, and as that challenge is coming, the last word is leaving your lips, and the little guy inside your head is grabbing at it, and the world has slowed down and all you can hear is no. Yeah, that's where that was. And that insult that you just threw misses the short guy and hits the 6'3", 290-pound linebacker on the other side of it. That's where this went. And so all of a sudden, I'm standing there. I can feel energy hit me here. And I shit you not, I could feel pressure, just a little bitty pressure right here on my face. And I could feel somebody breathing right on me. And it was like, okay, I know you're there. Well, in that challenge, she decided to make me feel what she felt. It's how she was communicating. All of a sudden, I couldn't breathe. I felt like I was drowning. Couldn't catch my breath. I couldn't talk because I could not catch my breath. I felt like I was underwater. And so my investigators are trying to come to my aid, and I'm pushing them back. And it's something I had to do. And I was like, I remember being on my hands and knees. I'm on the ground. And I was like, look, in between these breaths, I was like, I get it, stop. I'm feeling you. I apologize. Talk to me. And immediately, that pressure left. There was a calm feeling. I got the name Jennifer very loudly in my head. And it drove me to tears. And no power on the face of this planet can tell me, convince me she was not standing in front of me. And that she was hurting and that she was lost. And then there was one other time that completely stopped me from ever instigating again. Instigating is dangerous. It's rude. These are most of the time, 95% of the times, you're dealing with humans. There's absolutely no reason to go in and instigate, pick a fight, if you will, to get them to show themselves. There is a human side to what we do as investigators. And I think we forget that sometimes. That we are dealing with whatever is on the other side. Are we dealing with complete souls? Are we dealing with revenants? Are we dealing with a fragment of a soul? Are we dealing with a residual haunting words? And if that's a residual haunt, you're just dealing with an audio tape or a videotape that is playing over and over again. If we're dealing with an intelligent entity that understands what we are saying and knows we are there, why do we feel we have the right to walk into their space, their house, and pick a fight just to get them to act and do something so we can catch it on digital media? Exactly. Being disrespectful angers anybody, and there's no reason for it. And so I stopped instigating. Do I get a little forceful occasionally? Yeah, you have to. Sometimes you get a little bit forceful. You have to sometimes implement your will with some of these entities and some of the things we're running into. But you don't go in, and keep in mind, y'all, Zach Baggins is a fellow Sabretooth. He's family. He's a brother. But there are things, and if you notice that Zach and the Ghost Adventures team, they don't instigate the way they did in the earlier episodes, because that got them sideways in some places. There's nasty things out there. That got off kind of long. We'll get deeper into some of that when we get into our Science Saturday, when we talk a little bit more about the tech side and the philosophical side of hunting those things that go bump in the night. Miss Nessa D. Henry, love you, sis, has a question. So what's your question, Nessa? I'm kind of nervous to ask. So I'm having to read y'all's questions as they're strolling by, so bear with me, y'all. All right, so Nessa hasn't asked me her questions yet. Yeah, Chaz, you're completely right. She's got it nailed on the head. Keep in mind, y'all, that and this is one of the issues. So you got me off on a soapbox now. Shocking, right? In paranormal investigating, is that people out there will see the Ghost Adventures team, the Ghost Bros, all these different paranormal, the Nope team. They see us running around these buildings, doing investigations, chasing those things that go bump in the night. And oh, I can grab a piece of equipment. I've got my cell phone that has everything on it that I need, and I can go hunt ghosts. And yeah, you can. But keep in mind, not everything out there is Casper the Friendly Ghost. I would tell everybody, if you're interested in paranormal investigating, do it. Yes, do your research. Listen to the veteran investigators that are out there. A lot of us have put out Ghost Hunting 101 videos. Hell, I'll even do a live shot or a podcast where you guys can specifically ask ghost hunting investigation questions. Because you can get sideways and step off into something that you're not prepared for. Like I said, not everything is Casper the Friendly Ghost. And you can get entities out there on the human side that are dark and malevolent, who want nothing more than to hurt you, to cause fear, to latch on and follow your little butt home and continue the tormenting. They feed off of it. They live for it. Also on that note, you have non-human entities. And without getting off into the rabbit hole that is the discussion of theology and religious backgrounds and all of that, whatever you want to call these things, demons, dark energy, dark spirits, the fae, angels, whatever term you want to place on these, we're pretty much all in agreement that most of these entities have never walked the face of the planet in a human form. So you are not dealing with human brain, human ways of thinking, and they have their own laws and respects when coming across them, and how you deal with them and how you don't get sideways with them. And we've run into that on some of our investigations, as well as on tours. I will post up a let me finish what I'm saying, and I will answer Miss Henry's question here. But even like the Jewish cemetery that we used to go to during our tours, Toast, who just showed up, much mad love, respect, Toast. He's one of our tour guides, one that I highly respect, along with Charmaine, is that Toast is my expert on the Jewish cemetery. And so we were going to Gates of Prayer, and I will post the picture up for everybody to see it. On one of our tours, lady was getting a selfie, and right beside her, up at the gate, is as solid as this vape sitting right here, is a Dybbuk, which in Jewish lore and theology is a Jewish demon or dark energy. And we did our research, and sure enough, the pictures that came up are this thing standing right at the gate. Toast and I had multiple conversations about when we were going into Gates of Prayer that there was a back corner over there that we're like, yeah, no, we're good. We're going to stay out of that area. And so I think with us not being able to go into Gates of Prayer, that it came to the fence. And that's what we caught on this photo. Let's see. Nessa, one of those incidents has it now where I can't play my bass the way I knew anymore. Have you ever heard somebody... ever gotten harmed there or after? What location are you talking about? Are you talking about Charity? Question mark. Charity Hospital Cemetery. Yeah, and Toast is right. There was also, keep in mind, y'all, Toast is of the Jewish faith. There was an area in the cemetery. I'm glad you reminded me of that. I forgot about that, bro. A spot in the cemetery he could walk into, not a problem. I would go, anybody else would go, it's like, nope, I don't like this area, I'm backing out. So there is stuff active in those cemeteries, and it deserves respect. Period, end of story. It deserves respect. So, like I said, I'll put together a podcast or a live, one of these lives, where we talk hardcore about the ins and outs of paranormal hunting and ghost hunting. What is the difference between a ghost hunter and a paranormal investigator? Because yes, there is a difference. That was weird. Did any of y'all just see that go across the feed? Looked like a cloud very lightly just went across the feed right here. Also, guys, I haven't posted on here, we have been people who have been picking up paranormal activities in their house during the live broadcast. One, we were talking about Marie Laveau. Something showed up in one lady's house, and we've had other guests of the tea room saying that stuff has shown up during the podcast. So my loving wife is saying we're getting right at an hour, y'all. I went a little bit long on this. I apologize for that. So we're going to cut this one here. That way we can post it onto YouTube. So, like I said, y'all, when we get this up on YouTube, spike and hit that subscribe button. Go up there, hit the bell so you're notified of any of the episodes we place up there. We can get into longer conversations during the podcast if you guys would like. So go on Discord, get a Discord if you don't have one. I'll post up my Discord name on there so we can friend each other. We'll set all that up as soon as I get off on here. If you guys find it in your heart, if you're in a position, we know right now times are bad, there is a link on the YouTube channel for Venmo as well as for PayPal if you want to support the channel and help us continue to do what we do. Some of you guys already have, you know who you are. I'm not going to dive off deep into that because you're going to get me to cry, and it is what it is. Just know, you guys that have sent donations to the tea room, you've got a place right here. You're helping us stay afloat more than you can imagine. Other than that, boost the signal, boost the signal, boost the signal. You guys, they can't stop the signal. You guys are going to be helping us get this out there. So there's my brother Ricky Bobby. Boost the signal for me. That's the biggest thing you could do. Go down, hit that thumbs up button. Boost that signal. I'm still learning the ins and outs of how to grow our brand. So that is what we're going to be doing. So guys, I'll be on Discord here in just a little bit, getting that all set up. So, as always, from the Demons Tea Room, from here in the hot zone that is New Orleans, absolute love and respect to you guys out there. Be safe, stay healthy. For all of our cats on the front lines of this epidemic and pandemic, trying to make sure people go home, mad respects. So guys, from here to you guys, much love and respect from the city of New Orleans and the Demons Tea Room. I'll be talking to you guys out there on the flip side. So, much peace and love to my fam out there. Peace out, y'all.